Hey everybody, it's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom, or in this case, your real estate team or your real estate business into a life of freedom, because we've got a really amazing guest that's going to share some high-level stuff on everything from expireds to team building to REO and short sale experience and what that's taught him, and some of the other businesses that he's branching off into outside of real estate to bring in more income streams. So there's a real wealth building type of episode today. This is going to be awesome. But first, as always, I am your certified Greg Wrangler, and I would like to welcome my regular co-host, Greg McDaniel. Greg, what's up today?
What's up, Johnson? I saw you got a little present from a viewer. If you want to bust that little bad boy out, because I'm pretty sure you're itching to use it anyways. And that does stand for "Shut the fuck up." And Matt, would you please play it, please?
You want me to play it?
Come on,
all right,
play it.
We're gonna
do it.
How about the nice cup of "Shut the fuck up"?
That was a new one. I haven't heard that one yet. All right.
Well,
Thank you to Brindley Tucker for that. That was that brightened my day the other day when that showed up from Amazon. I'm like, what did I order from Amazon that isn't the book? I'm like, it's like a kid on Christmas Day. It was fantastic. All right.
Do I shake it hard enough? Did I break it? What happens?
Yeah.
Oh
exactly.
no. Okay. I gotta tell you an amazing story. So I have a friend. I actually have one. It's pretty nice. It's my first one. So Sarah is a good friend of mine, and she is, I'm not going to say where she lives, but she's heavy into Instagram, and she has like 9,100 viewers. To yesterday, guys, dude, the other shoe dropped for her, and it was fucking epic. Check this out. Just from her Instagram posts and videos and just showing her personality, she got a call from a top agent that works her same market. And she's like, okay, so she goes to lunch with this lady, and this lady like does a lot of business. This lady hates listings. I don't know what's wrong with this woman, but she hates listings, right? So
you hate not working? You hate sitting around and collecting money?
No. She likes buyers and she likes investors. That's her her go-to, right? But people are beating down this woman's door to have her list a house. She's been referring all these listings out to this other agent. Well, she feels that other agent's relationship with this woman is fading away. So she called Sarah and goes, "Hey, I like you. You seem to be just like me." And Sarah's just like, they were just like, just the same person, which that would have been challenging to sit and listen to. But here's the end of the story. Because of her Instagram post and the way she interacted with that platform, that woman just literally says, "Look, I'm going to give you between 3 and 5 listings every single month, ranging from 500,000 to 2.2 million."
Wow.
Every
That is
month.
probably the most profitable Instagram account any realtor has ever built.
I was blown away. I'm like, well, Sarah, you do know that you're going to have to build a team now. She's like, I know. What do I do? I'm like, you build the team, dumbass.
Oh, yeah. I love it. We're going to get into that.
Right. I'm gonna forward this on to her and be like, just listen, okay? Just listen.
That's right. So Brett Tanner, welcome to the show, Brett. What's up, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. First of all 9 of my Instagram followers are gonna just be blowing things up. So it's gonna be crazy. Huge on Instagram. Huge. I mean, I'm way on it. So like we might need to speed up the internet because it's gonna get crazy today. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to have you. It's going to be a very, very cool show. So just for people that don't know you, give everyone the 60-second bio on kind of who you are, where you are, and what you do.
So Brett Tanner from Phoenix, Arizona. I've got our team, about 25 agents out. My office is physically in Mesa. I own the brokerage as well. We've got about 270 agents in our office there.
Nice.
Been licensed 10 years. This year we'll do 400 to 500 deals at around 80 to 100 million bucks in total volume.
I'm like, I penciled that out. I'm like, that's $110 million.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to feel bad for you. That's fucking epic.
We're making a big push, right? We're actually playing. Sounds crazy. We're playing for next year, so we're doing everything we're doing right now is to try to go out and put up a really big 2017. So
that's awesome.
Interesting. All right, very cool. All right, so there's a lot to talk about there. Let's start with just a simple question, and we'll get into like the team building. I would love to hear more, especially about the brokerage and the team, like and how you're kind of coordinating all that stuff. But anyway, there was a question that caught my eye. If anyone's joining us live, we just want to thank you real quick. And if you're watching the replay here on YouTube, make sure to hit subscribe. That way you get our future videos, as well as if you want the audio version nestled between your ears. So belong. I'm going to use this button on you again, Greg. Head on over to iTunes and Stitcher and subscribe there so you get the audio version. All right, so this is from the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections group. Nathan Lawrence It's a question about expireds, and this one caught my eye because Brett's group really goes after them heavily, so I think it'd be a good perspective. Because Greg, you don't go after much. There's really, what did you say? Five
14.
expired listings this year or something?
14 from January.
14
total.
since January. All right, so yeah. So it's like Brett's Instagram account.
Exactly. Same. Yeah. Total expireds, and actually it's 50% greater than my Instagram account.
That's right.
That is true.
Oh my God. Okay, so Nathan Lawrence says, who do you know that kills it at expireds? I closed 21 last year at $5 million. Have already done 23 so far at this year for $5.5 million. So doubling his business on expireds. That's phenomenal. Anyway, so on track to do 35 to 40 this year, but I feel like my system is absolutely horrible, and I feel like the potential is there to do 75 to 100 if I have a smoother system in place. So Brett, what do you think about that? What did you guys do to kind of smooth things out?
So the first thing I would do when I talk to an agent or a brokerage or someone I'm going to mentor or coach in our office is I would break down the metrics, right? I believe all of the success you have as an agent is in the metrics, and what agents are great at is typically sales, but they're terrible at figuring out why they were successful. So the first thing you got to do is you got to plow in to figure out. I mean, I would break down what is causing the success you're already having. Is it I'm calling 2 hours a day, which equals 200 calls, which means I'm talking to 20 people, which means I'm getting 3 nurtures in 1 appointment? I would want to get a good data tape running on what's causing my success. So that's the first place I would start, right? If we don't even know how many calls you're making a day, it's impossible to grow what we don't know. My mentor, it's so funny, is Russell Shaw, huge agent locally here.
I know Russell.
Yeah,
He's
Russell,
awesome.
he's awesome. Been my mentor for the entire 10 years I've been in the business. And I called him one day and I was like, hey, I got all these listings now. I want to get more buyer leads out of it. And he's like, how many leads do you have now? And I said, I have no idea. And then he called me a name. He's like, fuck dumbass. How are you going to know if you get more leads if you don't even know what you have? And so, great point. So it boils down to tracking. So in this business, I really believe that we are a part of what agents do today. They got to be smarter. You're in the data business. So my first system would be to figure out what am I actually doing that's creating production. Then if I want to get more out of it, I would hold myself accountable to a nurture number per day, right? I'll just give you our stats because I've got them. I reviewed them before the show. We want to average a 10% contact rate. So I don't care what list we're calling. I think expireds are great. I don't believe that they're the only list by far, and I actually think there's probably more value in the older aged expireds. But regardless of what list you're on, it's got to be a 10% contact rate. If you're decent on the phone, 7% of your contacts should result in a nurture. And you can probably average about a 1 to 2% contact to appointment rate. So the first thing I would say is know your number. What are your numbers? If there's either going to be a scripting issue, an effort issue, a time issue, and if we had those, the next part of it, once I had enough nurtures, which is the game we play, I just want the biggest future pipeline of business, which is kind of what I said I'm planning for next year. I'm planning for 2017. I'm basing that because I know how many sellers are in my database that have already committing to sell in the next 12 months. So the last part of the question just becomes, what am I going to do to communicate to those nurtures so that when they're ready to sell 12 months from now, I'm the agent they go with? And that's going to look at your CRM, your follow-up process, and kind of what that looks like.
Interesting. What did Russell say to you, and what did you put into place after that conversation about tracking? Did you go out build a system? Did you buy a system? What did you do?
So I really, even today, it functions more often. We built it in Google Sheets, and we track our team based on, we found it was effort was really, when an agent's going to be successful, it's one of 2 things. It's skill or will, right? Most people don't have the will to win. I don't care if they have skills at all. I can teach that. But they don't have the will to win, right? Are you going to show up every day and put a headset on and call people for 3 hours a day? Yes or no?
Yes.
And most agents say, like, I'm a people person. I got to go out there. Like, well, you can't go meet enough people to ever matter. You at some point, and even if you did, you got to bring them back, put them in your database, and then call them, right?
Yeah.
So at some level, it's going to involve human being and headset. So we kind of cut out the first 10 steps and just put human being and headset together and go tackle it.
Go sit your ass in the chair.
Go sit your ass in the chair and make the calls, and it'll happen. And so from there, right, like I said, that's why I would start. For me, it just boils down to, there's a great book. The book that really inspired kind of some of the directions we went was The 4 Disciplines of Execution by Sean Covey. Really talking about, in business, there's lead measures and there's lag measures. And agents are so strongly focused on pendings and closings that they forget you can't just go get another pending and closing tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, you got to make another call to get another nurture, to get another appointment, and that's what would create the success. And I think that's what's missing.
You know what? That's something I teach. I don't use that language, and I love that language. I'm going to adopt that. Well, there's something that my father has told me for 17 years. He goes, Greg, the people you meet today are going to be the people you do business with tomorrow. So you got to keep filling that pipeline. It's like everyone wants to be in the NFL and winning the Super Bowl, but they're not willing to put the grind in from high school all the way through. Same difference here, being successful real estate agent. I did an emergency call with a lady today, Ann, who was her mindset was completely screwed. I mean, completely screwed, and she didn't have the mindset you just talked about. She wasn't willing to get off her ass until I verbally kicked her in the lady balls, and got her out the door, and she was like literally happy about that. And I'm sure you see that on your team. Like you've seen the mindset shift when they're like, "Oh, you mean if I just do this, it works?" You're like, "Yes, numbnuts. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Just go."
But most of them have no idea, right? They have no idea. Like they say, well, I'm kind of making some calls, right? So you've got to make your calls. Number one, it's got to be in a dialer.
Yes.
Because your phone, you cannot hunt and peck. And the reason that the dialer is it's purely measurable. I can tell you exactly how many hours you called, how many minutes, how many calls, how many contacts. So that to kind of put a bow on it for the gentleman that asked the question, it's number one, if your expired system, it's going to be what are you doing to the nurture, the guy that's buying 7 months from now, what is your follow-up process? So really quickly, mine, it doesn't need to be more sophisticated than this. If they're buying in less than or selling in less than 90 days, we call them once a week. If they're selling in 3 months to 6 months, we call them twice a month. If they're calling in 6 to 12 months, we call them once a month.
Perfect.
That's it. Like if that, I mean, it doesn't have to be more complicated than that, but you have to have a system that sets it to do so you know exactly how to follow up.
I mean, there doesn't have to be a super complicated algorithm built into a really complicated database, which then you don't understand what the hell it's doing, so you never use it because you can't understand it. You mean it can be simple?
It can't. Well, that's why agents are like, no, I got to have these 17 different CRMs that I don't use any of them, right? No, you could just master like half of the one that you have, and you'd be fine.
Right. Flip cards might even be a bonus for you if you can't do that.
Right.
Just keep them somewhere.
Yeah. Well, that's everybody forgets. Like, oh man, I heard Michael Mayer say this once. He's like, for the first several years when he was, working his referral system or whatever, his CRM was Google Calendar. Every time he would just schedule the next call himself, and his like top 10 and hour power, all that stuff was like just built. It was all just events in the very top of his Google Calendar for who he needed to call that day, which I got kind of kick out of that.
Actually, anyway. That's exactly what I do. I literally that's how I book keep my appointments, so I put them in my Google Calendar.
That's funny. All right. Okay. Well, let's give a couple shout-outs. I know, Greg, you've got some people to shout out, and then we'll dive into Brett's background and story, and then we'll dive into like the team building. I mean, you're owning a brokerage and starting up other businesses. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to get into. So it's going to be a really, really fun conversation. So real quick, just quick plug for Valor Marketing. They are awesome. They actually run Brett's blog there, the real estate video blog there for his team in Phoenix. Do a phenomenal job for both him and Greg. If you go to gregsmarketingexamples.com, Greg's got a little video there where he breaks down exactly what Valor Marketing is and what they do for him to help pull more repeat and referral business out of his database. So go there, check that out, pop in your email for more information on that, and then Homing In. So if you're looking for a way to generate seller leads, Homing In is an app that was created by some former REO guys in the KW world, Christian and Todd Miller. And Christian Peter. Anyway, so it is a way for sellers to request home valuations from real agents, and homeowners are finding the app faster than agents, and it's all free to download. So in other words, there are potentially free seller leads waiting for you, depending on your area, and this is a way that the real estate industry can generate our own seller leads rather than having someone else figure out how to generate them and then sell them back to us like Zillow did with buyer leads. So how about we just go download the app and go keep our own seller leads in-house within the real estate community where it's going to be free or low cost, and so go to check that out. Greg, who have you got to shout out?
I would much rather pay through the nose to Zillow. I would not.
Right. Don't you want to pay the next Zillow for your home seller leads?
Yes, Matt. This is what I've been dreaming for. We've talked about this off air. Don't throw me under the bus.
That's right. That's right. So, and can you only give me leads that want to make a move within 3 months? Because I really don't have time to nurture.
I was just going to say that. That chick.
Oh, Brett, that was almost an exact quote of an actual agent's post in one of the Facebook groups. It was so fantastic. And we didn't have to do it, but she got verbally bitch slapped by the rest of the group. It was fantastic.
My favorite quote was, I think there's a job with an apron waiting for you because there's always willing and able clients coming through that you don't have to nurture. I'm like, oh. That's just like, that's smacking you in the nose.
It's great.
That was awesome.
Okay, so I have so I talked with Jonathan this morning. He's one of the GSD guys that listen to the podcast. Got him booked up. Dude, super pumped for you. Harley is a gentleman out of Canada that called me yesterday and was literally floored that I actually picked up my phone. I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. It rings, I answer it. But he was super cool. Let's see, I got Larry, dude, you're awesome. Ann, I cannot wait to talk to you again. Did an emergency phone call with her today. Her mindset was FUBAR, like I talked about. Got her back on track. She was happy and getting off the phone. There's so many people. Let's see, Misty, Ryan, Sarah, Stacy, David, Garmin, John, Sia, Kate, Paul, Kristen, and Amber. So you guys are epic. I just don't stop contacting me, you guys. I love to hear your interactions. I love to see what's FUBARing you, and then working you through it. Last night I had an epic McDaniel challenge with Phil out of North Carolina, and we were able to take his finances, tweak them, and now not only is he going to get an office, but he's going to radically transform his life by just reallocating capital he was already expending so he can get a private office, get the dialer, go make money. It was awesome. So you guys Matt.
Yes, Greg.
We're into December.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was about to ask.
December.
All right, so if anybody wants to ever get a hold of Greg and actually do an hour to 2 hours of free coaching, they need to really text you like literally right this second during the show before December fills up, because there's only about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I am literally December 5th got filled up with Ann, so I have 6 and 7 open right now, and then it's going to go fast, guys, because it's a holiday. Fast. So if you honestly want to do the McDaniel challenge, and what it is an hour to 2 hours of free coaching. Capital free, by the way, no strings attached, unless you want to donate $100 to my bank account, or to Matt. No, Matt doesn't get any. But you guys, get on the phone with me. If you think you're on the fence and you don't know if you're the right person for it, you are the perfect person for it. So 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978. Get a hold of me. And Nick Jackson, what up, dude? He just hit me up on Facebook.
Nice. All right. So Brett, turning back to you. Okay. So take us back. You've been in the business for 10 years, right? And so that would have put you in getting in at what, 06?
5, actually 11 years, right? So just over 11 years. Got in like right as the peak in Phoenix, like when it just apexed.
Yeah.
Like I got in right there. It was awesome. Yeah.
Lots of money.
Yeah, I got in just enough to go. Like my first year, I had a huge year. My first year, I sold like $20 million. Not because I was smart, but because we were just taking orders in Phoenix back then. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is the easiest business on earth. I don't understand how everyone's not successful. Like these fools that have been doing it forever. I am so smart. And then I was immediately humbled, and I rode that elevator all the way down to where in 2008 I almost hung it up and was going to go sell plumbing parts or just do something else. So I've definitely been through. I've only seen, interestingly enough, the most equity business we've ever done is right now because we never had to really build out an equity model. It sounds crazy in Phoenix, Arizona, but I had a little bit of equity in the beginning, and then it all got bad to REO, short sale, hedge fund, all that stuff.
Yeah. So, okay. So it's just now. You said it's just now starting to come back.
No, it's been back for a little bit, but for me, I never really knew how to build an equity business. I've figured that out the last 3 years. I've really learned how to.
Transitioning over to a straight residential.
Yeah,
residential sales.
Yeah, I'd never had like regular customers. I always had people like losing everything they have or bank.
All disasters.
You mean regular people that are thankful when you sell their house?
Right. Yeah, like that. That's what people say. Like, what's regular business? No, I mean like where there's like a buyer and a seller that are human beings. Yeah, that's the different part. Yeah.
Wow. All right, interesting. So what was that transition like? Because for those that don't know, we talked about this off the air before we went live. You got really, really big into REO and short sale, and apparently you ended up being one of the top guys in Phoenix, or the top guy?
Yeah, so we, in our record year, 2011, I ended up selling 675 houses. So built a huge REO and short sale business. Mm-hmm. We had over 200 short sale listings at one time. We grew a massive distressed business. Which was, so I had some of my best years ever, right? It's funny, 3 years before that, I was going to quit. 3 years later, you're number 9 in the country. But an interesting transition, right? So about setting goals and building systems. And so you really learn, right? The cool part of the distressed market, it was all about how could you run the most efficient and most profitable system, because it was pure systems based, right? There wasn't emotion, a lot of Obviously the banks it's not emotion, it's pure logic. So for that, that gave me an opportunity to really hone in, build the team. And then the hardest part of that, though, as you transition out, is imagine your business if you take 700 deals and then 300 of them just disappear. Ooh. Right? So it creates a little one of these through it. So yeah, then we had to figure that out. We landed, then the next wave of it, which I didn't know, was the hedge funds business, right? The Wall Street guys came in and started buying houses. I represented one of the biggest ones exclusively for Arizona. So that was good. 2 years later, we did 640-ish deals in 2013. So we rode the wave.
Just a quick question on how that relationship came about. Did they come to you because of your REO short sale experience?
So they knew who I was, right? And I went to a meeting, and I do what most agents do, is I sat down and I basically promised that I could solve every problem that they ever had.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there with one of the guys on my team, and they said, well, we need someone to manually underwrite the entire MLS every day. And I was like, absolutely. I've been doing that for years. It's not even a problem. Give me a week. So I come back to my team, and I was like, we have to figure out how to seriously manually underwrite the MLS every day, because I have no idea how we're going to do that. And so we figured out a way to do it. And I said, if I could provide you better data than you're getting now, and you could buy smarter, would you give me 100% of your business? And they said, yeah. And so then I had a week to kind of deliver. And so basically 24 hours a day for 7 straight days, the whole team, we just had to figure out how to do it. And then we did, and that was the model. And so we had the relationship. Wow. But yeah,
that's insane.
You get in the room and sell the impossible, right?
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is pretty epic. By the way, I mean, do you want to share what you guys did so that if that ever happens, or do you want to?
So basically, what we did is you download. You can download the data from your MLS for all the new listings every day. From there, you can immediately look at certain properties are never going to work just based on automated models. For example, age would be one of them. Certain rent profiles. So we developed zip codes that either wouldn't work or would not. And then you'd get on average rents within the neighborhood. We know those wouldn't work. So essentially, we were trying to take the list from, say, 2,000 homes a day down to where we only had to manually comp or do comparables on, say, 150. And then it's just only. But then you can actually figure that out, right? Then that's just a labor equation. So then I just hired 5 compers to go start comping every house every day, and we'd spit out, this is the high rent, this is the low rent, this is what you can get it for. And we would essentially provide a data tape to them every day.
Wow, that is awesome.
Data twice a day, yeah.
That's insane.
That's a lot of labor, but shit, man, that paid off epic.
Yeah, but you figure, you get 400, 450 houses out of them a year. It was a good business.
Yep.
So what systems did you develop for that REO short sale side that kind of carried over into the equity business?
Yeah, so the biggest thing was the similar thing kind of where we started the call to bring it, full circle there, is just number one, I figured out how many calls we had to make to get a short sale appointment, to get a listing taken, right? And so the coolest part about the short sale business is you knew who the sellers were, right? So when that business comes back, it's not like in the regular equity business, we got to go out and figure out they're everywhere. It's a seller, could be anybody, versus I know that they're the select group of people. I can just target them, and then I can even do a deeper dive, and I can go really clear on data in terms of I want the first and second mortgage to be the same lender because I know those go faster. I don't want an HOA because of this. I want someone that's at least 120% underwater so that they just know that there's no hope and I'm going to give up. Right. All of those things you could figure out who's better for me to have a better conversation with. And so you get really good. And that goes even today, though, there are groups of people in every market that might be better for you to talk to. Like I always look at one of the lists that I don't think agents call on or look at is
Is what?
It was absentee owners, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but we lost you 100%.
Hold on.
Yep.
You're like, and this is.
The secret to all success in real estate sales is.
And click.
All right, can you hear us?
And everybody who's watching the replay, we honestly did not plan that.
No, we did not.
It was too good to. We couldn't have planned that if we tried.
No, I'm still can't hear you, buddy.
Oh man.
Are you plugged in? All right, go ahead and unplug completely, and we'll see if we'll just run you through the regular computer.
Oh, that was awesome. That's no, seriously. I mean, that's some really good stuff that Brett was talking about. You guys, go in there and take the time to really take a look at what your market's doing. It's going to speak to you. It will speak to you like anything else, like a human being will talk to you. As soon as you know how to read it and communicate back and forth with it. One of the things that my father's done for years is he's gone in and he's downloaded the data. He's uploaded it into Batch Geocode, batchgeo.com. It's a private mapping system. He'll color code it and he'll go by year and status. And you can legitimately watch where the market is shifting and moving to, so that if you were to, like, let's say your business was on the west side Danville, and then it would move to the east side Danville, you'd know where to go. It's like fishing. The fish aren't always in the same place. They're in different spots. And so if you track it, like Brett was doing, you can know where to spend your time. Like when I was with Brian Casella and we were doing our live Facebook video. Oh, by the way, guys, go to Lead Gen Scripts and Objections page. Sign up for Lead Gen Scripts and Objections page. You can watch me go live with different guests. But it was awesome. He went and analyzed the market and would go door knock in different markets based upon what the data was telling him instead of just sticking to one specific geocode. So, Brett, are you with us? Nope.
Still can't hear you.
Son of a biscuit face.
So weird. All right, well, we'll keep chatting and just try your headset again and try your headset settings like we did before we went on the air, and just join us if you can. Just keep trying it.
And Brett, as much as you think, Matt did not sabotage you. I would not let him do that. I wanted to hear what you were saying.
Yeah.
That's like, what the hell? Okay, so you guys want to talk about multitasking? Boom! Offer submitted while on the podcast. Winning!
Now, what price range was this in, Greg?
We are at where it's $495. We're going in at $515. Multiple offers brought down our contingencies on all sides dramatically, making us look real pretty. So We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We're going on a first date, man. You got to dress up. Shit, you can't go all sloppy.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's keep rapping.
Yeah, sadly we can't, Brett. Nothing.
Nope, dead. Like
Man,
hole in the water. Is there a button you maybe push?
Hey, Brett, if you can hear us, try this. Just get out of the Hangout and come right back in. A lot of times that fixes most things, so let's try that. In the meantime, we'll take a question. So Logan Stewart says, hey, anyone have any good lead follow-up scripts for forced online registration through pay-per-click ads, as in buyer lead scripts? I just had one hang up on me, followed by the, sorry about that, it seems I got disconnected, I'll call you back when I have better service. So they hung up on him and then texted him back. So what would you... What's a good response for that, Greg?
I really don't know. I am working on a lot of the responses. I generally just try to be as honest as humanly possible. I mean, I just say, hey, look, I got I got something that you guys signed up on one of our sites. Wanted to come on by and drop some information off for you. Wanted to see if you guys are thinking about buying or selling. I found that just being 100% honest. I did go to. Hold on. Brett, are you with us? I see you back, buddy. Is he talking?
No, still can't hear you. What's going on over there?
Nope.
Oh, what's going on there? No, not now, but we had a little flicker where we could hear you. Is your cord shorting out on you? You got a mute button somewhere on there? Very close to having him back. Oh, we just heard you again. Just a little sliver of you.
Stop flirting with us and just come back. Come on now. Quit playing hard to get.
Yeah, the lead. I mean, that's the thing about lead follow-up scripts. I mean, it's like Brett said, you got to know your numbers, and just some of it's just sheer volume. And I think a lot of agents are asking questions like, hey, how can I get better response? And if you listen to the top guys talk, they're not getting better results because they have magic scripts necessarily. They just do a lot more numbers.
They do a ton of numbers. I actually was on Easy Agent Pro, and I was poking around on there the other day, which I downloaded the personal email templates that I was reading over for buyers and sellers and all different scenarios. They're really pretty damn good, man.
Yeah.
So if you guys go to Easy Agent Pro, and you can get it, the title on this is 10x your conversion with these personalized email templates. That is what you want to look for. And I was very impressed by the verbiage on them. So I would probably play around with something like that, but it's just browbeating the shit out of your leads until there's like, McDaniel Callahan team is the team I need to call. Because all we do is inundate them with our information and value add and everything else.
Yeah, the 2,600 days of pain or whatever campaign you came up with.
26 days of pain. Mm-hmm. Ben Kenny had the 10 days of pain, and again, Eileen and I thought that was not enough. So
it's weak. Ben Kenny's weak. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Let's just really annoy the people. But I read a really cool story the other day, Matt, and it talked about dirty desks. It was sent to me by Misty, and she said that there's studies done that if you have a dirty desk, there's a high
Am I live?
Yay!
Gotcha. Hey, you're back.
Did it.
Yes.
Guys, I don't know what happened there. I apologize.
Don't
I'm not going to move. I'm not going to breathe. I'm going to stand like this.
Yes.
That's
Take one foot and raise it up.
I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
Just keep doing that.
All right.
Yeah, if you could just hold your hands right up in the air for the rest of the show. That's right.
Just 30 minutes, no worries.
Yeah, 30 minutes, not a big deal. All right.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so let's get back into it. So we're talking about the transition over from the short sales and into the equity side, the residential side. And so what were there any systems that kind of prepared you for that change that you kind of held over that give you an advantage in the residential side?
So we were talking about data, and I know right where I left off, which was the best list that agents don't call, right? Absentee owners, right? People that own a property, don't live in it.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge list because I have a number of rental properties. Greg, I'm sure you do. And if you catch me on the right day, I'd let another agent sell one of my rentals, right? It's such a pain in the ass. So I think that's a huge list to be calling. People that own property are free and clear. I mean, I think there's niches in every market to figure out who's your customer, who do you want to go after. Like if you want to go after people in golf courses. So what the short sale business taught me was figure out who your customer is and gear your message more to that customer.
Mm-hmm.
Then today, I mean, I was blessed that I had that business back then, did some smart things with the money, and then today we just market and we just pound out leads. I mean, for us, it's really getting the last bit of juice out of every single lead, like you said, the 150 days of pain. We just put them on the indefinite days of pain, right? It's just for you get in our database, we're going to get you. Like at some point, you're going to be in there for. We're going to just hammer it out.
Nice. What system are you guys running to handle all that for you?
So we use Boomtown. We're Boomtown. Boomtown and Mojo are our two go-to tools. Yeah.
Cool, man. Love it.
Get Mojo on.
Yeah, well, I got to get you on a mastermind kind of a podcast with Jeff Cohn. Also, Boomtown. They just integrated Mojo. They're doing all that stuff. Yeah, you guys both know your numbers. I would love to hear you guys both go in depth and compare the markets because the team sizes are almost identical. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, very, very cool. Okay. So let's dive into like the team building side of it. So obviously you built out a team, but not in a traditional real estate residential team sense. You basically built a business to service all these banks and stuff like that. So what does that look like as you're transitioning over, and what is your, like you've got 25 agents, you mentioned that, but what's the staff and the structure that kind of supports them?
So the best part about getting great at the phone is as the market changes, you're still on the phone, you're just changing the message as it changes, right? So that's the best part. So salespeople went from calling distress to calling homeowners to regular homeowners. Today, we've got an operations team of about 4 people. We've got 5 internal ISAs, and all of the rest are your traditional agents. We do it a little differently. Our agents can do both buyers and sellers, so they can, we just look at it as you're in sales. So a lot of teams limit people, like you can't do buyers or you can't do sellers if you're. I just don't believe that to be the case, and so. Why not let them list? The worst case scenario is you just have more business because they did it. The ISA role has been a game changer for us. I definitely think there's a really good book out there called Predictable Revenue. It goes a little deep into it, but really breaking down the sales process. Right, there's better people that are even in the sales environment that are hunters rather than farmers. Even in the sales environment, like the guy that's going to wake up and hammer new expireds is probably, if you had enough leads, not the ideal person to nurture someone for 6 to 12 months, right? Yeah. Behaviorally, they're 2 different people.
Yep.
And so I definitely think getting that part in your systems and I think your CRM is such a big part of that, right? And I'm not here to say Boomtown's the one, but I think there's a number of great ones. For me, my issue is I never understood any of them. And so I said, every CRM sucks, right? Like this CRM's terrible because, and I make up all these reasons. And then when I finally got Boomtown, I said, no, I'm going to master this at a level that I could go teach for them if I wanted to, just so I could better understand the accountability on my agent. And to wrap all that up, it's if you're going to make a profit, if you're going to spend money and buy leads, lead accountability will be the method in which you profit. Like if you do not have a lead come in and you could see the accountability of what happened on that lead, how quickly it was responded to, what was our process all the way through, if you can't see that, it's going to be very hard to get a return with the cost of leads out there today.
It's so true. I have 3,000 to 5,000 leads right now through my different systems that I'm using, and none of them are tracked like that. And I tried to get Boomtown. They wasn't available for us in our area for whatever reason or something. I don't know what was going on. But is Boomtown the only one that does that for other agents out there, or are there others that you found?
What do you mean that'll track it, like that'll give you the accountability? A lot of them have a view into the backside. I've heard, like, Commissions Inc. or a Conversion or a Team Leads or whatever. I think Boomtown does it best, in my opinion. And the reason why, here's how I landed at Boomtown. I'm a big believer in like success leaves clues.
Yeah.
If you look at the top 100 agents in our company, 60% of them use the same tool, right? And I was like,
There you go.
I'm just gonna kind of believe that that's the right answer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's probably split between that and Infusionsoft, I would imagine. Maybe a few on stuff like FirePoint.
Yeah, you definitely got some outliers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, very cool. Okay, so you've decided to master the CRM. Talking about the lead accountability. So let's dive into that a little bit because we've talked about this, or at least I've talked about this with Jeff Cohn on our separate podcast a lot. We have not talked about it on this podcast a lot, and so I don't know that the audience really understands what that potentially means or what it translates into in terms of the actual numbers. So what are your requirements for your agents in terms of how they follow up, and how are you holding them accountable to do that?
So every agent on your team, right, and we've honed this down, and they only need about 30 leads per month. So if you're going to hire a buyer's agent, you as a team owner need to deliver 30 leads a month. And I tested that because at one point I had 400 leads come in and I had 2 agents, and they're just getting buried. Then I was like, you know what, we're going to give you 200 each. What happened? Their production went up. Went to 100 each. Production went up. Went to 50 each. Production goes up, right? So the myth I think we have as agents, they need more leads. No, they need to work the leads they already have harder.
I completely agree with it. Yeah,
I mean, you don't get more, right? Because they're just going to cherry pick and run through it. If they know they're only getting a lead a day, basically, which is what the 30 leads are, they can really work it. So the first thing you got to go to is response time. Your CRM, the leads have got to automatically come into the CRM and be routed to an agent, and then you've got to see the first response. How quick was that? So we want to run under 5 minutes. So every week in our world, you're going to sit down with our sales manager, and they're going to see what was your average response time from the hours you're working. Like if it comes in overnight, we don't count that against them. So we run, like, say, from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. What's your response time? Right. And then I want to see, and our response is going to be, I don't care if you talk to them on the phone, I want to see a text in the system that says, hey, Greg, great talking with you, excited about our conversation, blah, blah, blah. I just want to be able to see that you actually did the text. Don't tell me you text me from your cell phone, because I know you didn't do it. I want to see it documented in the CRM.
I know you're full of shit.
I know they're going to tell me.
So, yeah, I was gonna say, especially with Mojo integration now, you've got to be getting to the point with Boomtown and Mojo where, look, if it doesn't happen in Boomtown, it didn't happen, right?
We just say if you called them and it wasn't on the dialer, it didn't happen. If it's not logged in Boomtown, it didn't happen, right? Because that was the old excuse. Is like, no, you don't understand. I'm calling all my leads. And I'm like, well, why are you the least producing person in the building, right? You're calling them more than everyone, yet you've got the worst production. So let's figure it out. So then, if you can view these actions, right, and if you're 10 days of pain, and I've heard all the different things, if it was nothing more than I call and text them every day for 10 days and then I archive them, fine, that would work. I think there's a smarter way to do it than that, but like follow-up is going to boil down to your calls and your texts. And I'll tell you, we leverage text. It is the stupidest thing that I can start texting Matt, and I can get a text going, and then I say, can you take my call? And then you'll take my call, right? Yeah. Versus I called you 15 times and you wouldn't take it. So for us, texting, at Boomtown called us once. They're like, how are you getting your agents to text so much? Like, you're using more text than anyone in the country. And I said, I think we're doing a terrible job in terms of how much we should be. But like, so we are heavy text on the front end.
So what? let me pose the question to you that your coach posed earlier. No. You want more texting? Are you tracking your texting? Yeah. Why do you feel like you need more texting? You're not doing a good job if you're already outpacing everyone else in the country.
Well, because I think most people just they're not using it. Like, they're not using it at all. We're using it like 30%.
Oh, okay.
And what I mean by that is, like, I'll see, like, we'll send one text today, but why can't we send, like, I think it should be 2 or 3 the first day until we make contact. Right. Okay. If Greg comes in the morning and say, hey, is this Greg? Hey, Greg, I think I saw you're looking in Chandler. I've got a great deal. Right. I mean, there's text that I could send you, and you're like, are you looking to buy? Would you be interested in a property that's 10% under market value? Like, there's things I could send to you. You're gonna be like, yeah, I want to respond. So we're doing it. We're just not doing it. We're not doing it enough, and we're just missing one role on our team today. We just need like this productivity coach type person to come in and just help.
That's interesting. That's something we can talk about on a mastermind with Jeff because he does have that. That's exactly what set him free from the day-to-day management of the agents was that exact role. So yeah, that'll be a cool separate conversation to have. All right, so you want to text more? Like, how would you construct? Let's say it was your perfect world. Yeah. How would you like the agents to do that? Is it something where you're having to sit down and kind of come up with the intellectual capital first of, okay, here are the different things that you can send them based on what's on the market right now, or are there generic things that you could come up with to just give them like a toolkit of different texts that they could send, and then they just choose the ones that fit the situation the best, and just
we've built it all out.
Numbers?
Yeah,
okay.
We've built it all. We build out the text scripts, and if you think about it, there's not 50 things you can say, right? There's probably like 10 to 15. Yeah. So we build out the text scripts, and we do it, like I'm saying, they'll do it once, but I really think the first day we could be hitting our leads 3 times harder. And so I would tell anyone listening to this podcast, whatever you're doing to your leads, like if you did 4 times more of it and compressed that into the first 3 days, you would get exponentially more out of your leads, right? I mean, go like, from like a book perspective, think 10x Grant Cardone. I'm always like, if you call someone... And one of the best story that like is like kind of like a fable in our office is we had an agent say, hey, I've got an appointment with this guy today at 3 o'clock, Brett, and he won't call me back. And so I went over to her phone and I go, you want me to show you something? I'll show you the secret of how bad you got to want it. So I called the guy and his voicemail picked up and I hung up. I called him again and I hung up and I did it 13 times in a row.
Oh my God.
And on the 14th time, the guy picked up and he's like, what the hell's going on? And I go, man, your voicemail's all screwed up. I really apologize about that. Anyway... Are we still on to meet at 3 o'clock today? He's like, absolutely. She went out there and sold him a house. And so I tell the story, right? Like, in some level, it boils down to just how bad do you want it, right? Do you really want it, or are you gonna like, I don't want to call him too much. I don't want to be too pushy. I'm like, they already decided they're not using you by the fact that they're not out driving around with you, right? So if we've never got a hold of them, they've already decided they're not using us. So we have nothing to lose today, right, by calling them. And so creating that, that culture and that, whatever that looks like in your world. But I would say everyone on this call could benefit from being way more aggressive on the leads you already have.
I'm with you 100%. My mind is sitting here, and I'm guilty as hell, just like every other agent out there is guilty of not doing that. The texting idea, I don't know why I've never done that for any of my leads. It just never came into my mindset. So, I mean, I have a shit ton of leads. I plan on spending a portion of my day. I'm going to go back to my newest ones, and I'm going to text them something clever, and just see my responses, and then kind of bring it back to everybody. I think that's a really good thing, and I love the fact that you called that dude 14 times, and your script was, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Your voicemail is all kinds of screwed up. I don't know what's going on. He's not mad at you. He's wondering what's wrong with my voicemail, and then you go right for the close. Are we still good? And he's like, yeah, of course. People are busy. Life happens. So I'm with you. 10x it on this stuff, and comes down like what you said. How bad do you want it? I mean, would you fight like hell for your next breath, or would you be like, fuck it, I'm gonna check out now. It's been a good life. Goodbye, cruel world. Or would you be like, I'm gonna fight for this thing?
You gotta watch that. Have you guys seen that Eric Thomas video? The guy that says you got one success as bad as you want to breathe.
Yes.
If you haven't
memorized that
watched
script.
Yeah. Google that if you haven't seen it. It's an awesome thing. Eric Thomas is great.
I love a hip-hop preacher, man.
Yeah.
He is good shit. When I need a good pick-me-up, or him or Les Brown, because of Les Brown's saying is, if you get knocked down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And I'm like, ooh.
That is a great one.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of stuff. Let's finish off with a couple of questions about kind of what's working for you right now, what the next steps are for you. So we get a sense of kind of what your team is. We know you're prospecting based. We talked about the expireds a little bit. What else are you guys doing in terms of prospecting with those 3 hours of agent kind of prospecting time per day?
So one of the big lead generation things we're doing that leads to prospecting is we're huge on home valuation leads, right? Everybody's, I think, doing them. We went really, really big. I did kind of a deep nerd dive and really wanted to lower our cost per click to where I got it to, where I could get a much lower cost per lead and then really go big with it. So we use a company called Bold Leads. I think they've got the best back end out there in terms of home valuation. I actually manage it myself, and I just turned it over to a nerd. But so we take those leads. We get 3,000 to 5,000 at least of those per month that we're putting in, and we're crushing those. Okay. I took a playbook from one of my buddies. I think Tim Heil's been on this show. I was actually talking to him earlier this morning, but I took an idea from him, which is hiring basically young college kids to be junior agents and coming in and hammering the phones and getting paid on a per nurture basis. Like They come in, they generate 5 nurtures, and I give them $125, right? Something
Oh,
like
wow.
that. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So I took that play for him. So we're really trying to build, like, our whole game is how do we get more nurtures, right? I wake up every day and ask the question, how many nurtures in the pipeline? How do we get more? So
Okay.
that's really our focus on the seller side. It's almost all phone based for us.
Okay. So yeah, all right. So bold leads running through. So Google AdWords to bold leads on the back, and then on the back end, you're nurturing them. You've got your drip campaign set up through Boomtown. All that's nurturing them passively. Plus, on top of that, college kids coming in and kind of sifting through and scrubbing the leads, essentially.
Scrubbing and creating more, right?
Right.
Doing all that.
Okay.
So the IC, that's really, it's actually not through Google. You said Google. We do some of that, but most of it's Facebook. Most of
Is it really?
Mostly Facebook for the seller side.
Now, do you see, from the impression that I've gotten, at least from Jeff, we've talked about this for our leads in Omaha, the quality level, the ratio of like the quality from Google AdWords, at least on the buy side. You know what I'm saying? Like quality
On
of
the
Google
buy
versus
side-
Facebook? Yeah. Okay. So this is just something unique because it's more seller leads than
The
buyer.
seller leads, people
Okay.
are curious of what their home value, and what you're going to find, right, I would tell you on the seller valuation leads, is it is a longer term lead, right? So you're getting people that they're looking 18 months to 2 years out, so it's the long game. But, you know, I still think you can build, if you add whatever your budget is, $500 a month, every month for a number of years, and you get this huge database. It's just going to be how you work that database at that time.
Okay. All right, and then in terms of nurture, so obviously your viral clients, you've got your 2 educational videos going out every month. You've got like the magical seller lead generation email going out every few months and all that good stuff. Same thing Greg has. What do you have running like on top of that?
So I do the viral. The only other thing we do, I've done everything from Happy Grasshopper to everything. I'll tell you what we do is through Boomtown we can only send active properties for their neighborhood. We can't send solds, whatever, they need to work on that. But regardless, what I'd say is, hey Matt, don't you want to be the most knowledgeable seller about price when you put your home on the market? What I'm going to do is send you 1 video a month with all the homes that are come on the market.
Huh.
And so I just send you active homes once a month.
Active.
Oh, not a video. You mean one email?
Well, I'm sorry, I
email?
said video. 1 email. I'm going to send you 1 email
Okay.
per month
Oh,
with
oh,
all the
video.
active homes.
Active
Yeah,
homes.
video.
Okay.
Sorry, I went video. I was back in the viral thing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I send you 1 email per month with all the active homes on the market.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
So
So
it's viral
theoretically,
video,
the people
not
that are in your database are getting 3 to 4 emails from you per month.
Just 3.
One-
Yep.
Just
2
3.
viral.
Okay.
Yep, and that one.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Very cool. And then do you have people calling and following up on the viral leads, the people that do click like the home valuation link in the email, that kind of thing?
We have a set person that we call like our nurturer that's working all of the longer term, like I said, like the farmer.
Yeah.
We do the viral. When those come in, we work those harder than anything, right? If they're watching a video of mine, they've got some interest in real estate, and we work those. Like those are some of our best. Like it's like sifting through your database, right? It's saying these 200 people in your database are the most likely to do something right now. And that's what I think is so powerful about what viral does is that basically I always said, like, I'm going to film these videos and I'm going to do all this stuff myself and I'm going to go post it. And no, I'm not. I lied to myself. I never did it. And then I did it. Then I got with Frank and we just get business out of the database that we would have never got. So
Yeah.
big fan of
Yeah.
viral.
Yeah. So obviously we have nothing but good things to say about them too. But that is the key. I mean, the people that I've seen that it didn't work for, in the few cases where it didn't work, it was that missing piece right there. Is they didn't treat those leads out of their database the way you treat them, which to me is it's the right mental approach. It's the way to look at it. It's from a marketing perspective. Like, look, we want to be in front of these people all the time, but you want the cream to rise to the top. And if you ignore the cream that rises to the top, then what's the point of continuing to stay in front of them if you ignore the people that start to raise their hand and show more of an interest in real estate than others? All right, so that's awesome. So we got a sense of your nurture and all that campaign. So we have an idea of what's working for you. We know who's doing what. So you said the ISA team has been a big game changer for you. Is that because of their role in all the scrubbing and all that stuff? Are they doing any pure lead generation? Because that's a question that everybody has about ISAs.
So we've got both, right? I separate the ISAs and like I said, the nurturer type person versus just the guy that's going to get on the phone and create leads. But for us, just being able to have more and then consistent lead gen, a guy that doesn't have any other responsibility, wakes up every day and my only job is to set appointments. So for us, I mean, I don't think it's the right answer for everybody, but I think if you're an agent and you had a good foundation, like a solid operations person, and it's just you, at that point, I think you could add that person's just going to bang the phone 6 hours a day. And if they're doing it, they're going to create, provided with any consistency and scripting, it's going to work. So that's been huge for us. The buyer side, we crush the buyer side. I mean, one of the biggest things for us, it's going to sound stupid, is sign calls. But most people, most agents, when I go to my brokerage or I go out and give a talk somewhere, I'll go have someone raise their hand. Who has over 20 listings in here? And they'll raise their hand. And I'll go, so if I drive down the street and I call the local number on your sign and I hang up, what happens to the call? And they all say, well, oh, it's gone. And I'm like, well, I had the same system, right? Awesome. Yeah. So you got to have a call capture number on your sign that's a local number. So when they hang up, you get an email that says missed sign call. So it literally will 4 to 5x your sign calls. If you're not using call capture, the company we use is called CallFire. They're not in the real estate space. They're just a call capture company, and it's CALLFIRE.com. They're awesome. It's like $2 a month per number, $3. It's cheap, super cheap. But we run a separate tracking phone number on everything we do. So our website's got a different number. So because what I want to do is after hours, if someone calls into even my office and they hang up, right, they're gone. Well, not now. I get an email, hey, missed office call. We're going to have someone call all those. And we're going to, even if we don't get a hold of them, like if you're a missed sign call, you're going to get put into our database and you're going to get called forever.
Okay. That's awesome.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
I remember hearing about CallFire, and I remember people having very, very good things to say about it. But now, I mean, the way you put your systems together is fantastic. Did you get did someone kind of coach you on this, or did you just kind of, live fire this thing and,
I live fired and just bailed out. You just did stuff that would just fail, and like we could do like a 13-week series on all the stupid shit Brett's done. So I just honed down to what worked today. But the other thing is texting. If you don't have the ability to text in on your listing for info, and I use CallFire for that too. If it's a text, like a key code for price and pictures, text home to 67076. If you don't have a text option on your signs, I'd probably say you're missing 1 to 2 leads per week per listing, something like that.
This is unique. Matt and I were having a lively debate about this. If you should put an 800 number or a local number and a number for texting.
It's local number and texting. It provided that you call capture both. I'll solve the. I've already had the 800 number. That's in the Brett Failure series, which we could do next week. I already have the
episode 1.
Yeah.
So local number, but still call capture.
Yep. Yeah. Got to be.
As opposed to just a local number that dials your office, and then if nobody picks it up, it just goes into the vast abyss of nothingness.
And I'm telling you, you'll be floored when you see how many calls it is. It's shocking.
Interesting. Very cool. All right, so in the last couple minutes that we have left, just real quick, what's the next step for your team?
So, for us, and we chatted about it a little at the beginning, which is just, for me, it's now we've built this really great real estate business. I got a really great brokerage. And so for me, it's how many businesses can I line up alongside what I'm already doing that makes sense. We opened a title company in July 1, and between, the brokerage and my own business, it makes a lot of sense, right? Then we're looking at mortgage, insurance, all these things that kind of line up with what we're already doing. We already have a customer. And so, is there a way that we can enhance the experience for the consumer or the agent? And then if we're able to do that and help everybody win, can we make a little bit of money doing it? So for us, it's just more. I would say every agent, the one area that when I give a talk anywhere, which is agents need to get involved in the investment side of the business, because as agents, we have an unfair advantage to know what a house is worth today, or like what we can buy it for, what we can sell it for. And I don't care if you have money or not. If you could find a deal where someone could make $50,000, you could bring it to an investor and you could make a hell of a lot more than a commission. Yeah. And so that's what agents are missing, right? So get involved, study up on investing, find somebody, and because you're in your career going to bump into home run deals that you could have made a lot of money and not just a commission on.
Yeah, we did a show with a guy named Ben Smith with a company called Real Wealth here in Walnut Creek. That's exactly what they do. They help people identify markets around the country. You can buy properties from 60 to I think 185,000, and they run all the numbers, all the management fees, everything. You're cash flowing $200 to $600 a month, and that's the type of stuff you're talking about. It doesn't matter where it is. I mean, as long as it's cash flowing to you, that's the most important thing, right?
Yeah, so I'm saying 2 parts, right? Go exactly what you said, which is the rental investment side, but then understand the fix and flip side of just, hey, you buy this for $300, you put $50 into it, it's worth $450 or whatever the math is. Bring that to an investor and show them, hey, if you do this, you're going to make $60,000, and when you do it, I want a third of it. Don't be playing for a commission. I mean, if you had the right presentation, people would do it. So I think agents they miss the fact that they have all the missing parts. Mm-hmm. They're just not getting paid like the experts that they are.
They're not thinking correctly. They're thinking small term, not big term.
Yeah, just give me. I'll just make a commission. I'm like, no, that's called deal pimping, right? That's not investment.
Deal pimping.
Deal pimping.
Now I am totally stealing that. That is awesome.
All right, guys.
Being a deal pimp.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so Brett, if somebody wants to send a referral to you, and just give us a little quiz, like primer on your area that you cover and how people can get a referral over to you.
Yeah, I'm everywhere in Phoenix. So anywhere in Phoenix, Maricopa County, Scottsdale, Tempe, the whole area. The best way is a website that I do called whatbrettuses.com that Viral helped me put together.
Okay, awesome.
Whatbrettuses.com. Go right on there and submit the referral.
Cool, man. That's awesome. Okay, and then Greg, just I'll give it out real quick because we don't have much time. We got to wrap things up. So
I'll do it.
For the McDaniel Challenge.
It's my gig.
No.
Pipe down.
No.
All right, guys, McDaniel Challenge. This is the time when you guys are going to come hang out with me for an hour and a half, 2 hours. You guys, if you are stuck mentally, emotionally, physically, in business or mindset, guys, please get a hold of me. We will unscrew you. Oh, that came out wrong. Anyways, you're going to come out the other end, a lot happier, and you're gonna make a friend. I'm gonna make a friend. Call me, text me, Facebook message me, follow me on Facebook. 925-915-1978 is my cell phone. I do Facebook Lives like Matt every single day. On the weekdays, go subscribe to me, and then follow me on Snapchat. REU444. Watch my snaps.
Awesome, guys. Remember to subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher. Thank you so much for telling a friend about the show. And everybody, we will see you back here Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific.
Yep. See you guys soon.